An event that occurred in the 1900s claimed the lives of 6 million people who believed in a certain religion that was known as Jewish. These people were killed by Adolf Hitler and the Nazis. Adolf Hitler was the leader of the Nazis. He came to power in the early 1940s and soon took over Nazi Germany. This event killed 6 million people for believing in a religion. Hitler believed that if you were a part of Germany, you must follow the traditional German religion known as Aryans. And if you did not follow that religion, that you were discriminated against, you were sacked out of your homes, you were brought to concentration camps, you were killed, you were worked to death, you were starved, you were publicly executed. He believed that this was the right thing to do. Hitler had a little bit of power going into Nazi Germany. However, once the Holocaust began and people started picking up on what was going on, he started to gain more followers. I'm not entirely sure why more people started to follow him, but my soul is telling me that people who did not want to be killed and brought to these concentration camps said that they believed in what Hitler believed in so that they were not killed, regardless of what they actually believed in. A study on the historyplace.org claims that 91% of all Jewish people in Poland were killed. It's a crazy amount of people to think about. I cannot picture 6 million people in front of me, or 3 million. I cannot picture it. To think that that many people died due to the results of someone who discriminated against religion blows my mind. DoSomething.org states that of the 6 million people killed in the Holocaust, 1/3 of those people died in 3 months. 3 months is not a long time. Not a lot can be done in 3 months, so the fact that the Holocaust got that far in 3 months blows my mind, and sometimes I wonder about if it didn't end, if we would still be in it, if it would have expanded, if it would have taken over our world. Hitler came to power in the early 1940s for believing that all German people should follow the Aryan culture and religion. Of the Jewish people who got taken away, most of us know of Anne Frank's diary. There's a lot of detail in that book that goes into her daily life as the Holocaust was going on and ends in a tragedy where they did not make it. These concentration camps that they were brought to worked people to death. They worked people to death. They starved the people there. There were harsh living conditions. Some people weren't even worked. The weaker that they would claim the weaker. They would tattoo them with who was weaker and who was strong. The weaker people would be brought to where they thought they were taking showers, which were actually gas chambers, and they would be killed right then and there. There was a lot of children involved in this, women, pregnant women, elderly. These people were killed in gas chambers because they did not believe that they could do work for them. The people who did do work, mostly men, strong men, big, older, but not too old men, were put to work. They were in harsh conditions. It was not human-like at all. They were starving and forced to work in the harsh conditions of Germany. And when they were unable to work anymore, they were publicly executed. People would say that they would see their friends being executed and hung, and the people in the audience were forced to watch. They were forced to watch their friends and family and acquaintances be killed publicly for not being able to work in harsh conditions. If they did not watch, they were also publicly executed. It was almost like a chain reaction. Experiments were done in the concentration camps. Children, especially twins, were used in medical experiments. They claimed were medical experiments. There was one that they wanted to see the eye colors in children, and they would stab them in the eyes. They wanted to see if one twin was being hurt, if the other one would feel it and would know. They would do these very harshly. They were not nice about it at all. They were almost like guinea pigs with no care in the world. They would do harsh things to them. World War II shortly began after the Holocaust. And some would say that the Holocaust led to World War II. The Holocaust itself didn't. However, Germany, who was the beginning of the Holocaust, who ran the Holocaust, invaded Poland. This attack was very uncalled for. Nobody was prepared for it, including Poland. So Poland was destroyed within weeks. They didn't have a good fight. They didn't put up a good fight. They weren't prepared for this, as most of the world wasn't. Germany invaded Poland due to the fact that they thought Poland was gaining alliances with other countries in the world, and they did not want Poland to be stronger than that. This makes me think a little bit deeper because of our world today. Russia invaded Ukraine because there were more than one reason, but one of the reasons was that Ukraine wanted to become part of NATO, and Russia did not like that. They did not want Ukraine to become part of NATO, so they attacked them. It's a very similar situation, hence why most people are afraid that World War III could happen. Because once Germany invaded Poland, they moved on. They went into Europe. Once they spread into more countries, more other countries got involved, created alliances, and the whole world was soon involved in World War II. The war ended with a U.S. attack on Japan, with a nuclear bomb that ended the war because it killed so many people. After Japan had sent the attack on Pearl Harbor. Countries soon went against each other, and in the end, a lot of people died. More people than I can even imagine. There are still survivors of the Holocaust today, and you can donate to them directly by visiting bluecardfund.org. I've looked into the website and even donated myself. I think it's a good organization for the survivors of the Holocaust. A little bit of my help might not mean a lot to them, but to me, I like to think that I helped out someone who went through the absolute worst experiences of their lives. They have tattoos on them of their numbers from when they were sorted in the Holocaust, and it's just something that they live with forever. Thank you.